One of the things that I love people from other cultures to do with me, other races, is to just ask questions. I appreciate it when someone who doesn't look like me is interested in knowing a little bit about me. And I don't want those folks to be intimidated, uncomfortable, afraid to come up and ask me a question about my culture.
It's talking to somebody that you haven't talked to. It's meeting someone. It's going out there. It's doing a good deed for somebody else. You know, it's you got to feel like you're part of this community, and so are the people around you. It's a consciousness that I think we've kind of lost with the modern lifestyle.
How else are we ever going to know anything about someone that's different from us unless we ask them questions? And most people who are comfortable with who they are, where they came from, are going to welcome those questions.
An open public conversation about Ada's variety of races and cultures is exactly what the City of Ada is seeking. To achieve that goal, the city has created the Advisory Committee on Multiculturalism, a group of citizens with the primary goal of making sure all races and cultures have a voice in local government, as well as a mutual understanding of and respect for each other.
One of the important goals of the Multiculturalism Committee is to encourage understanding of diversity within the city of Ada, make sure that the different communities feel heard by their government, and that there's respect for all communities within the city. I think those are some of our important goals. I think everyone in Ada should feel like the city government is there for them, and this is an important way that we can demonstrate that to these communities. When I look upon Ada, I mean, it's a city between 16,000 and 17,000 people. There's a growing Hispanic community. There's a fairly static African American community that ranges between maybe 200 and 400 people. Obviously, the emergence of Native American community is very large, and perhaps that demographic hasn't changed, but the perception of it has. I think that these issues are sort of coming to a head because as, like, for example, with Hispanics, with more Hispanics moving to Ada, that's something that's going to require a fair amount of understanding on the part of other people. Some people talk about, if people are here, they need to learn our language. Well, there need to be programs, and there are, that facilitate those goals. But there also needs to be communication among the communities, and it needs to be a positive relationship. So I think the relationship between these communities has been, it's been sort of growing organically, but not with a lot of attention to it. And I think this is a way that we can pay more attention to and do, make actual choices about how the relationship's going to go. So I'm hopeful. I mean, I think people in Ada are good people, and some people say, well, we expect certain things to happen in a place like Ada. I don't think that's the case. I believe in the goodness of people, and I think people in Ada see everyone as having a right to be here and deserving of respect.
Well, I think it's the idea of educating the citizens of Ada that there are other races and other ethnic groups in our community. And I think the main reason why I felt like it was put in place and that I hoped it was put in place to bridge some of those gaps of decisions that are being made, for all citizens of Ada, and not just a certain few. And I felt like the Multicultural Committee created an opportunity for us to really educate the community about the diverse population in Ada.
The Multicultural Committee is made up of 8 representatives who meet once each month to discuss relevant issues and ideas pertaining to diversity within the Ada community. The committee was formed after racial remarks were made, overheard, and captured by a recording at another public committee meeting. The remarks were published in the local newspaper and prompted a strong response from the Ada community.
There was a comment made by someone who worked on a volunteer citizens committee with the city council, and it was very derogative, especially toward African Americans and Mexicans. And there are a number of people, myself included, who attended city council meetings and urged action on the part of the council, seeing this as sort of evidence of the fact that the council needed to do something in terms of making Ada seem to be a more welcoming place. And definitely the council needed to counter the statements that have been made. And I think we have come a fair degree along the road of countering those statements. So I'm glad to see that the direction that the city's taken, but of course there's a long way to go yet.
I think the city saw it as a way to satisfy some frustration and bitterness from the community because of the incident that occurred. But I think they also see it as a way that, hey, we can move forward and bridge a lot of gaps in the process.
Basically, with the events that happened, I think it was a couple of years ago, in the newspaper, I felt motivated, I felt compelled, really, to participate more in the community because this is my home, and what I saw really was not true to what I feel Ada is.
The Multicultural Committee has worked to organize community events that include all races as a vehicle for getting to know each other and working together. For example, a recent event took place on Martin Luther King Jr. Day. These events are open to the entire community and an excellent way to bridge gaps between East Central University's diverse student population and Ada's full-time residents. As it turns out, that can be a source of tension in the community.
I know for a fact that there are different cultures on the campus of East Central that feel a pretty distant separation from the rest of the community. We're hearing that they do feel separated. They don't necessarily feel like they are included. They are afraid to some degree to initiate anything. And so we've got to be better at going to them and initiating that and saying, hey, come to our church, or come to this event, or come to, let's come to my home. Let's do something together, and in our town take the first step rather than expecting them to explore it themselves.
I would like to see it not just be for Martin Luther King Day, not just for any 1 month or Women's Month or whatever, Black History Month. I'd like to see it all the time. And I'd like to see activities like this for different groups to get together with everybody and just work together. And maybe it's not cleanup. Maybe it's just a community event of some kind. Out here on the plaza, for example. Just people getting together and getting to know each other and just being, happy.
East Central's relationship to the community is interesting because people come to Ada to attend East Central. In fact, there are about between 200 and 300 African American students at East Central, and these are people who would bring a great degree of diversity to the city. They don't feel real welcome to go out into the city. They feel like, they're harassed when they leave campus. Same thing with international students. So there's a lot of diversity on campus. There's a lot of open-minded thinking about these issues, and that's something that could be lent to the community if the community was receptive to receive it.
Events like this, and also being just our presence of being there, I think is a really positive thing because it shows to other people, that aren't very involved with government, the city government, that it is open. It is open to anyone who would like to help.
What the city's Advisory Committee on Multiculturalism needs more than anything else is input and participation from the people who call Ada home. With the committee, there is a framework in place to help facilitate growth and understanding, but that growth and understanding is a two-way street. Citizens who have ideas to make this happen are encouraged to get involved.
I think the biggest thing right now is we want to educate the community that we even exist.
We did a survey last year, and it was online, so only people with access to the internet could do it. But almost every single person said that they felt like achieving diversity was a proper goal of the city. They wanted to see that achieved. And a lot of people gave suggestions on what they thought we should do, work with the city, provide programming, do special events and stuff like that. It goes back to the direction. You know, we're just 8 people trying to figure out how to meet this charge. We need ideas from the public.
I would encourage anyone from the city area, any citizen, to come and sit in. They don't have to say a word. They can just be there to see what's going on, what's being discussed. If they want to participate, if they want to question, if they have an idea, they can present it then. That's fine. I mean, that's what we want. We want to hear from the citizens.
Ada has been an incorporated city since 1901. More than 100 years later, there is still much work to be done in the name of racial and cultural harmony. Ada prides itself on a progressive government and business community. The Multicultural Committee hopes to help the community make progress in the areas of respect, tolerance, understanding, and peaceful coexistence.
Ada has made a lot of progress. I've been in Ada since 1978, giving away my age here. But since I've come to Ada, Ada has grown a lot as far as multiculturalism is concerned. And I think if people really work together as opposed to working apart, getting to know each other, I think the city of Ada is so much better. And I really like the idea of that multicultural committee, getting everybody together, as you can see from all the people that came out this morning. You got people from all walks of life, and it's pretty neat.
I feel like people deserve to know other cultures and to open up, because everyone has something positive to contribute, especially in a town like this. Ada is changing. It's a great place to be, and there are people that come in from different cultures that enjoy that, and that's why they come here. And I think it's a duty to them to also become involved and contribute.
I think there is such a hold on the tradition and the way things are. You know, I love Ada. I wouldn't have come back to Ada if I didn't love it. I wanted to raise a family here. I felt like it was a great place to raise my family and be a part of the community. I've got a great church, but I do feel like we've got a ways to go to really bring things together and welcome all economic levels, welcome all races, welcome all. I think we've come a long ways, but I think we still have a ways to go.